Eclipse Moon Part 2. Chapter: Incredible Battle Situation. When Feng Guangyuan heard what Shishua Changwu said, a wicked smile appeared on his face. He put his hand in his pockets and said leisurely, "Shishuwu, tell everyone about the memory you spied on." Shishua Changwu, a psychic ability user with the ability code name Xingxingui, can spy on other people's memories. Shishua Changwu crossed his arms and was very serious when talking about business. There are still 13 cities in the Jiangnan region guarded by large alien organizations, and their headquarters is Blizzard City. Shishua Changwu spent some time telling everyone the important memories he spied on from Li Tianlong's mind. After listening to it, Feng Guangyuan sat on the cardboard box with a dim look in his eyes. He was making a battle plan based on this. The people who attacked us are from the 12 outer cities. These guys don't pose much of a threat to us. The real threat should be the official troops in Blizzard City. Blizzard City can't spare a hand for the time being, and judging from the fact that they sent outer city troops to deal with us, they don't want to lose their elite troops. Jinguji Saikairo said. In other words, there is room for negotiation, right? Phoenix Court nodded. Maybe it wasn't possible in the past, but now. He opened his arms and smiled heroically. We have let them see our strength. Now we have the qualifications to negotiate with them. Jinguji said slowly, but I don't think they will agree to our request so easily. After all, the real elite troops have not been dispatched yet. He pushed his gold-rimmed glasses and said sternly, the people sent this time are just the vanguard to test our strength. The next ones to come should be their 6 major investigation teams. Tsukamoto Nobunaga slowly moved his eyes and looked at Jinguji and Phoenix Court. The others also put away their smiles. After all, they are a regional special operations force, and their strength is totally different from that of these people. It may be a tough battle, Jinguji said. The smile on Feng Guangyuan's face did not diminish at all. Isn't this something that must be experienced? If we want to take root in this land and complete the first step of landing, we must go through a fierce battles. He even said with some pride, Columbus, who discovered the New World, died in a battle with the natives. But his discovery has brought about a huge change in the world and brought huge wealth to his country. As pioneers, we will also be recorded in history in the future. Feng Guangyuan gave a passionate speech, and his heroic and confident voice was full of powerful appeal. Then, he looked at the shrine maiden Takeuchi Mayumi, who had been sitting there quietly. What's more, we still have this trump card, and good luck will always be on our side. Everyone had different expressions on their faces. Since they agreed to follow Feng Guangyuan run on the icebreaker, they had been mentally prepared. At this time, Shishua Cheng was suddenly pointed at the unconscious Li Tianlong. Is this guy still useful? If not, I will eat him. He licked the corner of his mouth. Tsukamoto Nobunaga could spare the life of this Delta-level alien without caring. But Shishua Cheng was willing to enjoy this delicacy. No, he is still useful now. Feng Guangyuan stared at Li Tianlong with a playful look in his eyes. You can let him go back and bring a message to the top leaders of Jiangnan district. He raised his neck and said slowly, we are pacifists and don't like fighting and killing. If we can negotiate peacefully, it would be great. Blizzard City, Operations Center Headquarters Building, Xu Zheng's office. Tu Yunlai came to Xu Jung and handed him the war damage report in person. When Xu Jung checked the reports one by one, his eyes became sharper. Even at the end, his eyes rarely shook. This is impossible. Xu Jung slapped the documents in his hand on the table with a snap. He stood up suddenly, stared at Tu Yunlai and said, no matter how strong Eclipse Moon is, it is impossible to destroy our 10 alien troops so easily. Not to mention them. Even our investigation team can't do it. In less than an hour, the 13 people killed all 10 alien troops without even all of them going out. And the leader of each alien army is a Delta-level strongman. If it was really the 6 major investigation teams, it would not be possible to do it so cleanly. Tu Yunlai said in a low voice. According to common sense, such a result is indeed impossible. This is on our territory. We have almost all the advantages such as time, place, and people. Logically speaking, they should be like blind people, being played around by us. At the very least, they will suffer losses. However, I anticipated all possibilities, but I didn't expect this result. So, I think the other side has some way to get our intelligence. XU Jung stared at Tu Yunlai and said word by word, "If you have anything to say, just say it directly, don't play dumb with me." Tu Yunlai said, "Either there is a traitor in the operations department who leaked the information and location of the 10 alien troops in some way, or one of the aliens on the other side has the ability to detect and accurately grasp all our actions and personnel dispatches." He pointed to the reports on the table. "We have analyzed it carefully. One of the most important reasons why the people of Eclipse can win so quickly is that the aliens they sent just happened to have the ability to restrain that position team. You should understand that in a sudden encounter, if the ability is restrained, the combat effectiveness of the alien will be greatly reduced. Even if it is completely restrained, the alien will directly become a useless person." Tu Yunlai put his hands behind his back, and his eyes hidden under the military cap were sharp. "We don't have enough information about the Eclipse organization. Originally, we could have asked the Japanese to provide information about the abilities of these Ronin." Xu Zheng's face darkened, and his tone became calm. "What you said does make sense. But those cunning guys didn't provide any key information on the grounds that these people were Ronin who were not affiliated with the Japanese government. They hope that these guys will turn the world upside down in China, so how can they help us sincerely? But even so, what can we do?" Xu Zheng's tone was a little stern. "Can't we deal with a mere Ronin organization? In fact, many countries and regions have already known about this matter, and they are all watching. So we must win beautifully to let them see. They must die on this land and be executed by our own hands. Only in this way can we show our strength, to deter the surrounding villains." Weird things in Tianhai City. Tu Yunlai certainly understood Xu Zheng's anger. Although he didn't talk much, there was already a blazing fire burning in his eyes, as if he could destroy everything. "General Xu, we can't let them continue to be so arrogant. I beg to lead the team and go to Linhai City in person to annihilate this group of Ronin." Xu Zheng didn't even think about it and directly rejected Tu Yunlia's proposal.
"No.
"You and the Yanyan troops are the most important force to guard Blizzard City, and you must never leave. It is your responsibility to protect our base camp." Xu Zheng crossed his hands, took a deep breath, and looked at the ceiling. The strength of the alien organization in the outer city is still too weak. Without systematic training, they will be fooled when they encounter slightly stronger enemies. This time, we still have to let the investigation team go to deal with the Eclipse organization. Tu Yunlia's eyes condensed. "General Xu, forgive me for being blunt. This time, our opponents are a little unusual. At present, only the Heavenly Gods and the Black Robe Squad are able to act. However, since the death of Bian Junwu, the Black Robe Squad has been severely weakened and can no longer complete the A-level mission. As for the Heavenly God Squad..." Tu Yunlai paused for a moment before continuing. "Deng Shintong's personality is still a little immature and stable. I am not very reassured." Xu Zheng's mouth corners slightly raised. Tu Yunlai and Deng Shintong's personalities have always been at odds with each other, and he knows that. The Heavenly God Squad is now the team with the highest score among the 6 major investigation teams, and their missions have always been completed smoothly. We should believe in their strength, but what you said makes some sense. Xu Zheng's eyes narrowed slightly, and his hands were placed under his chin. "We can't experience another failure. So this time, we not only need to send the Heavenly God Squad, we also need to gather more forces." Tu Yunlia's eyes lit up. "Then I will take 500 Yanyan guards with me." "No." Xu Zheng rejected him directly. "I said, this is not your task. The pillars of Blizzard City are the 6 major investigation teams and the 5,000 Yanyan guards. The investigation team is responsible for external investigations and suppressing unrest. The Yanyan guards are responsible for guarding Blizzard City. If any of them has problems, it will be an unacceptable loss for Blizzard City. XU Jung implements military management of Blizzard City, so he must have strict discipline and will not let them overstep their responsibilities without authorization. Otherwise, if this precedent is set, there will be major problems in internal management in the future. Tu Yunlai pressed down the brim of his hat, and seeing Zhu Zheng's firm attitude, he stopped talking. Zhu Zheng thought for a while and said, "Mobilize a group of powerful aliens from other cities. The main purpose of the last battle was to find out the bottom line, and now we have to select the generals. We must gather those aliens with outstanding strength together. This battle must be successful in one battle," Zhu Zheng said, and immediately ordered his secretary Lan Xinqing to take charge of this matter. As for the candidates needed for the selection, he already had an idea in his mind. The intelligence of Jiangnan district is no joke. He has already figured out the details of almost every force in Tianhai City. Of course, it is almost every force, not all. Soon, Lan Xinqing brought him an interesting piece of information. Zhu Shuai, in the past few days, something very interesting happened in Tianhai City. When Lan Xinqing said this, there was a strange light in his eyes. Zhu Zheng couldn't help but stare at Lan Xinqing. The most important task now is to deal with the Eclipse organization in Linhai City. Lan Xinqing suddenly mentioned the matter of Tianhai City, which must not be for no reason. After all, he is not a fledgling boy. Oh, what happened there? Tianhai City. I remember that it is the territory of that kid named Zhang Yi. Zhu Zheng still has some impression of Zhang Yi, vaguely remembering that he is a powerful alien. But Tianhai City has been destroyed and needs to be guarded by a strong man. In addition, Zhang Yi's team is too small and does not look particularly powerful. In fact, Zhu Zheng did not plan to let them join the next operation. Lan Xinqing looked at the report in his hand and read it slowly. According to the intelligence of the investigation department, last night, 3 large alien organizations in Days City integrated a large team and entered the territory of Tianhai City. The team was led by 3 Delta-level aliens, and there were 72 aliens and 800 elite warriors. And they also carried a large amount of weapons and ammunition. When Zhu Zheng heard this, his brows frowned deeply. They're going to attack Tianhai City. These damn guys. At this time, they actually ignored the regulations of the region and killed each other. The Jiangnan Superpower Federation had just been established, and it was clearly stipulated that conflicts between alien forces in various regions were not allowed. But within a few days after the meeting, they started fighting over there. This clearly showed that they did not take them seriously, but Zhu Zheng was just a little angry. Now, he could not send troops to help Tianhai City. The Jiangnan region is indeed very strong, but they cannot completely control the entire region. They can only use their absolute military advantage to deterrence and suppression. That's why Zhu Zheng wanted to set up a federation. He sighed. With the current strength of Tianhai City, I'm afraid it has already fallen. Are you going to tell me about this? Lan Xinqing looked at Zhu Zheng with a strange look.
No, Zhu Shuai.
According to the latest intelligence, Tianhai City is very quiet now, and there is no sign of any exchange of fire. On the contrary, the team from Days City has completely disappeared. Zhu Zheng's expression froze for a moment, and then he looked at Lan Xinqing with a puzzled look. Disappeared? Lan Xinqing nodded seriously. Yes, it disappeared. We tried to contact them, but didn't get any response. Even using satellites to scan the entire Tianhai City, there was no sign of a large convoy. Zhu Zheng's expression became more and more strange. What are they doing again? Could it be that they want a rebel? They dared not respond to the news from the Jiangnan district, which was definitely an act of provoking the majesty of the district. But is the alien organization in Days City really that stupid? Zhu Zheng tapped the table with his right hand and suddenly asked, "Have you contacted the local forces in Tianhai City?" Lan Xinqing was slightly startled. That's not the case. However, the forces in Tianhai City were all destroyed in the previous battle. They shouldn't have the strength to wipe out the alien alliance in Days City so cleanly, right? Lan Xinqing thought that was completely impossible. Even if there was a war, at least traces of the battlefield could be seen on the map. In fact, there was no abnormal movement in Tianhai City. Almost all the combat power of the three major forces in Dae's city disappeared. This strange phenomenon made XU Jung, who had a keen sense of smell, feel something was wrong. The face of the young man with an indifferent expression appeared in his mind. For some reason, XU Jung felt that Zhang Yi must have known about this matter. He immediately said to Lan Xinqing, "Call Zhang Yi. I want to talk to him." Lan Xinqing hurriedly said yes, then took out a black satellite phone, found Zhang Yi's contact information from it, and dialed it. At this time, Zhang Yi, who was in the shelter, had actually been waiting for contact from the Jiangnan district. Such a big thing happened, and the Jiangnan district had to express it no matter what. But Zhang Yi knew in his heart that this was just a process and a face-saving project. Anyway, the matter has been settled, and they are the invaded party, so there will be no problem. After seeing the strange call, Zhang Yi answered the phone without hesitation.
Hello?
Hello, is this Zhang Yi? Yes, it's me. Lan Xinqing glanced at XU Jung and said, I am Lan Xinqing, the secretary of the headquarters of the Jiangnan Regional Operations Command Center. Zhu Shuai wants to see you, Lan Xinqing said, and handed the satellite phone to XU Jung. Zhang Yi's voice became much more enthusiastic. Zhu Shuai, long time no see. Although it has only been 3 days since the last meeting, your heroic and strong image has always been deeply engraved in my mind. XU Jung raised a barely perceptible smile at the corner of his mouth. No one will be unhappy when being flattered, but some people can hide it better. The key is to see who is the one flattering. In XU Jung's eyes, Zhang Yi is at least a talented person with good strength, so he is very happy to be flattered by Zhang Yi. Okay, stop flattering me. This is useless to me. Tell me, is there any trouble in your Tianhai city again? Zhang Yi had already prepared his words in his heart. The destruction of the alien alliance in Dae's city was impossible to conceal. He dared not underestimate the intelligence system of the Jiangnan region. The three major forces in Dae's city intended to occupy the territory and resources of Tianhai city. They ignored our strong protests and directly sent a large army to attack. Finally, under the tenacious resistance of all the aliens in Tianhai city, they were all destroyed here. We are based on the original intention of defending our homeland and the basic principles you issued at the founding meeting of the Jiangnan Superpower Federation. We have taken reasonable, legal, and compliant actions. Resolutely block all invading enemies. We have achieved the high standards of being able to fight, knowing how to fight, and winning battles and strict requirements. Zhu Zheng's head was dizzy after hearing this. Stop. Where did you learn so many twists and turns? So, the aliens in Dae's city were really destroyed by you? Zhang Yi nodded. That's right. I have evidence that they took the initiative to invade us. I will send it to the region immediately. Please ask the leaders to judge for us. XU Jung didn't care about these. Judging from the trajectory of action, the invasion of Tianhai city by the alien alliance of Dae's city is an indisputable fact. This is like a louse on a bald head, an obvious thing. But he didn't understand why Tianhai city did it so cleanly. Nearly 1,000 people, including many powerful aliens, were wiped out completely. Even the remains of the battlefield were not found by them. How did you do it? The three major alien organizations in Dae's city are not weak. XU Jung asked curiously. Zhang Yi laughed. Zhu Shuai. We also have our own secrets. This is the foundation for our survival. Please forgive me for not being able to reveal it. Because you also know the current situation in Tianhai city, we need a way to save our lives. XU Jung raised his eyebrows. Oh, do you want to keep it secret from us too? Zhang Yi insisted. Please forgive us. We dare not take any risks. This is not disrespectful to you. XU Jung was silent for a moment and nodded. Okay, it's just that I am very curious. The smile on Zhang Yi's mouth became stronger. XU Jung was reminding Zhang Yi that he would investigate this matter. But Zhang Yi swore that XU Jung would not be able to find out in a short time. Because no one could imagine that there was an alien of Zhang Yi's level in Tianhai city. In the eyes of those people in Jiangnan district, only they could cultivate top aliens. Even if the aliens in the outer city have high levels of ability, their comprehensive aspects are far inferior to those in Blizzard City. For some reason, XU Jung suddenly had an idea. He said to Zhang Yi, "Come to Blizzard City again in the next 2 days. There is something you need to do." Zhang Yi's smile froze on his face. "Go there again? We just finished the battle, and we still have a lot of things to do." A smile flashed in XU Zheng's eyes. "Just come here by yourself." He felt more and more that he had underestimated Zhang Yi. This kid must be hiding something. Some secrets. Then this time, he must be taken with the operation in Tianhai City. At least he is very good at defense and has the strength of an elite investigation team member. Letting him go will definitely help. Zhang Yi rubbed his head. He hated these troubles. "Can I ask, what exactly is the reason for calling me there?" Of course he has to go, but he also needs to know what it is, so that he can be prepared. XU Jung exhaled deeply and said in a deep voice, "The first batch of alien organizations sent to Tianhai City were completely wiped out." "What? How could this happen?" Zhang Yi couldn't help but blurt out. "Those are 10 powerful alien organizations. None of the alien organizations that dare to go to Tianhai City are too weak." Although Zhang Yi knew that Tianhai City was in danger, he couldn't imagine that they would all be defeated in less than 3 days. Erosion Moon. Is the strength of this organization really that strong? XU Jung said, "Next time, we will form a stronger team to deal with these Ronin. At that time, it will be led by an investigation team, and you will be responsible for assisting." Zhang Yi took a deep breath and then said with a firm look, "I understand. I will rush over as quickly as possible. There is no need to think about this matter. The Ronin organization from Japan must be eradicated from this land. Otherwise, everyone in the entire Jiangnan region will lose face." Zhang Yi may be cautious, but he still has the most basic sense of honor. He didn't go before because he felt that the Jiangnan region could be settled and wanted to get more information. But now, the severity of the problem is beyond his imagination, so he must go there and contribute his own strength. Liang Yu's questions. Zhang Yi decided to go to Blizzard City without much hesitation. If his strength was needed in this matter, he would not stay out of it as long as he ensured his own safety. At the very least, he would feel at ease knowing that those Ronin had been completely eliminated. Otherwise, from now on, there would be no peace on this land. With the first batch, there would definitely be a second and third batch. As long as a gap is opened, the surrounding forces that are eyeing and coveting the resources of the continent will swarm in like locusts. Whether considering the greater good or starting from his own interests, he had to go. XU Jung did not ask Zhang Yi to bring all the elites of Tianhai City. After all, each city also needs to leave some forces for defense. But after thinking about it, Zhang Yi decided to bring a few people for safety reasons. In case of any situation, it is more convenient for his own people to use. So, he called everyone in the shelter to gather in the living room. The 10 alien organizations sent by the 12 outer cities have now all been destroyed by Eclipse Moon. Now the Jiangnan region has summoned me, and I plan to take 2 people with me. Zhang Yi pointed to Liang Yu. Liang Yu. No one was surprised at this. In the current shelter, Liang Yu is the second most powerful fighter after Zhang Yi. Although her ability is just an ordinary strengthening system, she is a powerful martial arts master, so her combat power is excellent. Just when everyone was thinking about who would be the second candidate, Zhang Yi hugged Hua. The second one, of course, is Hua. Unexpected, but reasonable. Hua's combat power is probably not much different from Liang Yu. Uncle Yu frowned and pointed at his nose. Zhang Yi, what about us? Are you going to abandon us and face the danger alone this time? This is about the honor of our country. As a veteran, I can't just sit back and watch. Thaddeus Su hesitated for a moment and clenched his fist and said, "We have shouldered all the problems together in the past, and we hope to help you this time." Zhang Yi stroked Hua's soft fur, and a gentle smile appeared on his face. "Your intentions are good, but this is a war, not a game of brotherhood. The strength of each of the 10 alien organizations sent in the first round is not much different from the base forces in Tianhai City. Their leaders are all Delta-level alien leaders. Even with such a large lineup, they were killed by the Ronin. Do you think you can beat those Japanese peoples? Zhang Yi's eyes swept over Uncle Yu and his men calmly. Uncle Yu's expression was a little bleak. His ability level was only at the LV3 Gamma level, and in the past battles, he was a meat shield. However, as Zhang Yi's strength became stronger and stronger, Liang Yu and Huahua also grew rapidly through their ability to eat together, and his role in the team became smaller and smaller. This made him feel a little guilty. Fatty Su was okay. He was used to being heartless on weekdays and was more responsible for controlling the situation on the battlefield. If he didn't have to fight, he would be happy. Anyway, he has already laid down. Boss, if you don't let me go to fight, I won't go. Zhang Yi noticed Uncle Yu's disappointment, thought about it, and changed his words. This time, we just went there to understand the situation in Tianhai City first. If we need help at that time, I will contact you and let you go. Zhang Yi did plan to do so for the people in the 3 major bases. Although the 3 major bases have declined, there are still some powerful aliens alive, especially Xing Tian and Xiao Honglian, both of whom have the strength of Delta level. But if it is not necessary, he still wants to put these 2 in Tianhai City to guard to avoid accidents. But Uncle Yu's statement was just to comfort him. There is no need for too many words. Between adult men, too much comfort will instead hit his self-esteem. Uncle Yu's eyes lit up. Well, you must remember to call me over when the time comes. Zhang Yi smiled slightly. Definitely. Why do I feel that this operation will be very dangerous? Zhou Kur sat beside Zhang Yi's hand, frowning her beautiful eyebrows, with a worried look on her face. Are the opponents this time so terrible? Didn't they say there are only 13 peoples? Zhang Yi shook his head silently. I don't have any information about them, so naturally there is no way to talk about it. But I believe that after this battle, the Jiangnan district must have collected their information. When the time comes, you will know when you go over there. Yang Mi hugged his arms tightly, her soft body pressed against him, and sighed softly. I have to go to war again. I'm really worried that something will happen to you. Now, Zhang Yi has become the backbone of everyone in the shelter. With Zhang Yi, they can live a stable life. No one wants him to be in trouble. Zhang Yi smiled slightly, stretched out his hand to hold her soft waist, and felt her beautiful figure. After awakening her superpowers, she used the ability of Doctor to transform her body, which made her figure reach the golden ratio, and her touch was absolutely amazing. Don't worry, I know what to do when the time comes. I, Zhang Yi, have a life principle. If I am rich, I will help the world, and if I am poor, I will take care of myself. When the time comes, I will act on the premise of protecting myself, and I will not be a hero. And this time it is the Jiangnan region that is in charge, and the investigation team will definitely be the main force. We're just playing a cooperative role. After a brief explanation, Zhang Yi put on his equipment and planned to set off immediately. He communicated with Lan Xinqing, and the special train from Blizzard City would come to pick him up. Soon, he drove the snowmobile away from the shelter with Liang Yu, who was also fully armed. After the car started, Zhang Yi sent a message to Xing Tian, Xiao Honglian, and Qin Jingguan, telling them the situation in Tianhai City, and asked them to be ready to go to support at any time. It is impossible for Zhang Yi to charge in the front while they, as younger brothers, enjoy leisure in the back. Zhang Yi would not allow this situation to happen. Zhang Yi was on the phone in the front row, calmly reminding them to take precautions when he was away. Although the aliens in Days City had been wiped out, other cities might not be so honest. Of course, after Zhang Yi went to Blizzard City, the first thing he did was to ask XU Jung to assure him that he would not let any forces invade Tianhai City. At least he had to guarantee safety during his absence. Only when the safety of the rear was guaranteed could Zhang Yi deal with the Neon Ronin without any worries. Liang Yu sat in the co-pilot seat, with Huahua lying on her long legs that were just right. Even cats like long, slender, and round legs. Liang Yu looked at Zhang Yi's profile from time to time and seemed to be hesitant to speak. Zhang, Yi could naturally detect her abnormality. So after ending the call, he put down the satellite phone and asked lightly, "Do you have anything to say?" "You can just say it." Liang Yu frowned slightly and asked without delay, "Zhang Yi, will there be a day when the people around us are of no value to you, and you abandon us?" Chapter 6, 21 Hour. Liang Yu's question was not without reason. This time, Zhang Yi only took her and Huahua to Blizzard City, but refused to take Uncle Yu and others. Zhou Kuer and Lu Qian were easy to explain, because they were auxiliary aliens after all. But what about Uncle Yu and Su Chunlei? They were both combat aliens. Zhang Yi didn't take them with him for only one reason, that is, their combat power was not enough in the battles Zhang Yi was participating in now. This inevitably made Liang Yu, who was also a member of the team, feel a little worried. After listening to Liang Yu's question, Zhang Yi showed a playful smile at the corner of his mouth. He did not directly answer Liang Yu's question, but asked, "Teacher Liang, do you think I am the kind of person who is eager to build a strong force and continuously develop my own team?" Liang Yu blinked. "Isn't it?" Zhang Yi answered decisively, "Of course not. Indeed, from the end of the world until now, it seems that the size of our team is growing. But I have never planned to create a large force and then dominate the end of the world." He glanced at Liang Yu. "Otherwise, I can integrate all the forces of Tianhai City at any time. Do you think I have done this?" Liang Yu showed a thoughtful look. "You really didn't do this." Even if he took the people from the 3 major bases as his subordinates, Zhang Yi had no intention of managing them. This is indeed not what an ambitious person should do. Zhang Yi said calmly, "When the end of the world first came, I kept gathering talents because I had no ability to protect myself. Everyone huddled together for warmth and could survive well. At that time, my criteria for selecting team members were indeed very utilitarian. But now, the most difficult years have passed, and you and I are no longer simply using each other." Zhang Yi looked at Liang Yu. His eyes became gentle. "We are a family now. How can a family dislike who is less useful? Even if you can't do anything, as long as you can accompany me, that's enough." Zhang Yi's eyes were full of sincerity, which made Liang Yu, who had some grudges in her heart, feel relieved. She nodded. "That's good. In fact, I have long regarded everyone as my own family. I hope we can all live well in the end of the world." Zhang Yi nodded with a smile. "That's right. So, you are not allowed to have such thoughts in the future. How can a family doubt each other's?" Liang Yu lowered her head a little embarrassedly. "I think too much." "Sorry." Zhang Yi thought to himself. "I am not a devil." In essence, Zhang Yi thinks he is just an ordinary person. He is not very kind, nor does he have too many evil aspects. All he wants is to survive peacefully in the end of the world. It would be better if he could have a group of companions who could give him warmth. People always need a little spiritual comfort. Therefore, even if Uncle Yu and his men could not help Zhang Yi in the war in the future, Zhang Yi's superficial attitude towards them would not change. Having a group of trustworthy people to accompany you is already precious in the end of the world. Zhang Yi and Liang Yu came to Xiamayashan subway station. He put away the snowmobile and went to the platform to wait for the special train to pick him up. The patent arrived on time as agreed. It was still the familiar robot female attendant who smiled and asked them to take a seat. Zhang Yi and Liang Yu walked into the special train, and Hua squatted on Zhang Yi's shoulder as usual. This time, since there was no need to pick up people in other cities, it took less than 2 hours to reach Blizzard City. Zhang Yi and Liang Yu got off the train. The platform was quiet, with only a few soldiers guarding with guns. But Zhang Yi met a few old friends. The current captain of the Black Robe investigation team, Bailey Chongqing, and old acquaintances Wu Di and Meng Xiu. The 3 of them were all dressed in dashing black combat uniforms. After seeing Zhang Yi, Bailey Chongqing and Meng Xiu both had smiles on their faces. Although Wu Di still looked arrogant, his eyes revealed a hint of awe when he looked at Zhang Yi. After all, last time, Zhang Yi defeated him head-on while suppressing his strength. Ha ha ha. Zhang Yi, welcome to Blizzard City. You're here at the right time. Bailey Chongqing walked over with a big laugh and gave Zhang Yi a bear hug. Zhang Yi asked in surprise. Why are you here? The captain of one of the 6 major investigation teams actually came to greet him in person, which made Zhang Yi more or less strange. When did he become so prestigious? Bailey Chongqing let go of Zhang Yi and said with a smile, Zhu Shuai asked me to come pick you up. To be honest, I am a little surprised that you agreed to join this operation. Zhang Yi understood that it must be his destruction of the day's City Alien Alliance that attracted Zhu Zheng's attention. After hearing Bailey Chongqing's words, Zhang Yi just smiled calmly. Do you think I can refuse? The smile on Bailey Chongqing's lips became even stronger. That's different. Zhu Shuai said that you were very cooperative this time and immediately agreed to come. Zhang Yi took a deep breath. This is not a strange thing, right? Even if it is me, I can't be immune to foreign invasion, right? Zhang Yi is not stupid. Bailey Chongqing nodded in approval and then sighed. You are right. This trouble is indeed more serious than we imagined. Speaking of this, Zhang Yi's face became serious. What is going on? Is the Eclipse group so strong? Can it destroy 10 alien troops? Bailey Chongqing said in a deep voice, it's much more serious than you think. Not to mention you. Even Zhu Shuai was shocked when he heard what happened at that time. The power of Eclipse reveals a sense of weirdness. Do you know how long it took them to deal with those 10 alien troops? Zhang Yi stared at him. How long? 1 hour. Bailey Chongqing said word by word. What? Zhang Yi was shocked. 1 hour? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Even if Bian Junwu led all the members of the Black Robe team, it would be impossible to do it in his prime. Because there are too many uncertainties in war. When you don't know the enemy, you need to carefully test and reasonably allocate troops to fight. If this battle is a duel between the Black Robe team and 10 alien teams, Zhang Yi guessed that it would take 10 days and a half. Even when Bian Junwu used silence, it was the same. Because when your superpowers are exposed, others will also take corresponding measures to deal with it. Even if you lose, you won't let you kill everyone like a pig in an hour, right? Bailey Chongqing said, let's talk while walking. Let's go to the bar and have a good chat. Zhang Yi raised his eyebrows and asked curiously, shouldn't I go directly to see Zhu Shuai? He must have a mission to come here. Zhu Jung asked Bailey Chongqing to pick him up, but Bailey Chongqing took him to drink. This chapter is not finished yet. We'll post part 3 soon. Meanwhile, please comment and subscribe. It motivates us to make more videos. Thanks.